Link. Right. All right. Here we go. What is good, YouTube? This is your boy Aaron.
It's Brian.
And this is the Courtside View Podcast. And boy, oh boy, we got a lot to discuss today with what
Indeed.
happened hours ago. Like, what was that? I did not see that coming. Obviously, there was tension building ever since you could go all the way back to before training camp with Aaron Rodgers not reporting to, I think it was either OTAs or mini camp. Whole press conference with Robert Salah. We can go all the way back there and see that something was a little off when it comes to the relationship between Robert Salah, Aaron Rodgers. Then we go to, what was it, week 3 or 4, where they faced the Patriots on Thursday Night Football. The video of Aaron Rodgers pretty much denying the hug from Robert Salah. Fast forwarding, we see, I think it was the week before, where Robert Salah brought up the whole point about cadence, using less cadence, talking about, they misconstrued what I said. No. You didn't. There's no way that the media misinterpreted what you said. Aaron Rodgers, he didn't like that comment at all. So it was just a bunch of just little stuff that eventually built up to where we are now, which is Robert Salah is not the head coach of the New York Jets anymore, which I thought maybe it could happen like during the bye week. You know what I'm saying? Because again, give the new head coach time to get accustomed, get whatever he wants incorporated into the team and stuff like that. Nope, they're full blaze. They're like, you got to get out of here. There was a report that Robert Salah got escorted out from the Jets facility after he got fired. Now, then I saw another report where he didn't get escorted out. I find it hard to believe that the owner of the Jets wouldn't do that, because the owner of the Jets is a bit off. He's a bit off. He's one of them dudes that is very emotional. He's one of those very emotional type owners that doesn't think logically enough. What was your reaction to the news of Robert Salah getting fired?
Honestly, I really wasn't surprised. I feel like this was going to happen eventually, whether it be now, after season, after the bye week, like you said earlier. But it kind of just felt like it was in the works for some weeks, because, like you said, the thing on Thursday Night Football, where Aaron Rodgers pushed him. I mean, the writing was on the wall. His time was limited in New York. It didn't seem like he had a real tight handle on the team, at least on the offensive and the defense. He had them playing like a top 3 unit, respectively. But the offensive side, it was just completely out of whack. And now you have problems with the offensive coordinators. Like he's not doing his job, but that's Aaron Rodgers' guy. So Aaron gonna want to go to bat for him. And it just seemed like this relationship wasn't gonna last long with Robert Saleh. No, he's been there for about 4 years, I want to say.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's I think 2022.
so about 3 years or so. And he kind of got dealt a bad hand with Zach Wilson being a bust. Trash offensive personnel, offensive line still isn't even that good, honestly. And yeah, I mean, this is. I wasn't surprised when I heard. I was kind of surprised that it was announced now, but I knew he was going to get fired unless something drastic happened with the Jets season. But I do want to point this out. All the people, I see a lot of people letting Aaron Rodgers off the hook, and he absolutely should not be let off the hook. This man, if you look up his stats, this man is bottom 15 in pretty much all the QB metrics. He is playing terrible. He's closer to a bottom 10 QB than a top 10 QB at the moment.
Just you
But
you want to
people,
you want to tell me who he's compared to from a stats wise? Daniel Jones.
mm, would it be
let,
crazy to
let me
say
let me
Daniel Jones is playing better than Aaron Rodgers? I don't
let me
think
let me
so.
tell you let me give you the comparison. So both are 2-3. Aaron Rodgers 7 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. These are passing touchdowns, by the way. 1,093 yards to Daniel Jones 1,138 yards. By the way, Daniel Jones 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Aaron Rodgers has a 81.6 passer rating. Daniel Jones has an 86.3 passer rating. Aaron Rodgers is completing 61% of his passes. Daniel Jones is completing 64% of his passes.
Mm.
It's ugly out here. It is really ugly. And I will say that for a Hall of Famer, a future Hall of Famer, and for a team that supposedly has one of the better running backs, one of the better receivers in the NFL, for you to be playing that bad and compared to Daniel Jones, it's not a good look. It's not. I will
Not
say
at all.
this. Another thing I heard is that before Robert Saleh got fired, he was going to demote Nathaniel Hackett and he was going to promote somebody else to be the offensive coordinator. I don't blame him. That should have. Why did you wait that long? Like, why would you wait until the end of week 5 to try to demote Nathaniel Hackett? It just makes no sense. And for Aaron Rodgers, well, I wouldn't say Aaron Rodgers, for the owner to eventually come to the decision, I don't know. I don't know if how much Aaron Rodgers had in the decision to eventually get Robert Saleh fired. But the fact that reports came out that Robert Saleh was about to demote Nathaniel Hackett, I don't know. It seems like Aaron Rodgers may have had some sort of play in all of this, because I heard the owner called Aaron Rodgers the night before to talk to him. I assume, this is just me, I'm assuming, this is all speculation, but I think Aaron Rodgers didn't talk so glowingly about Robert Saleh the night
I don't
before.
think so
And
either.
the owner, I believe his name is Woody Johnson, was like, you know what? Let's get him out of here. Let's call him in the next day on a Tuesday and let's fire him. At least he didn't get fired on his day off. Like at least he came to office and they just said, hey, come to the office right now. Nah, don't go to the locker room, don't do all that. The fact that Robert Saleh couldn't even talk to his players, like they just escorted him out like he was just a regular, like an employee for like Target or something. The fact that he couldn't talk to the players that he coached for the past 2 years is very disrespectful. And God bless the next head coach that gets this job, because boy, oh boy, it is a toxic environment.
Yeah, for sure. Jets is looking. People gave him a lot more credit than they deserved this offseason. I tell you that much.
It's hard. It's hard to be a Jets fan. I would literally. I would literally might off myself if I was a Jets fan. Like, it is that bad. Like, I would literally like disown that organization in a heartbeat if I was a Jets fan. Like, I don't
I
see
don't blame him.
why would you remain loyal to a team that hasn't made the playoffs since the last time the Pittsburgh Steelers made a Super Bowl. The last time Aaron Rodgers won a Super Bowl was when the Jets made the playoffs. How ironic is that? So like I just don't see how like there's still Jets fans. I would have been left. It's just hopeless. Like that, it's probably the worst organization in football right now in terms of just losing mentality, because the Raiders made the playoffs. The Browns have made the playoffs. The Lions has made the playoffs. The Commanders have made the playoffs. All these bad organizations over the years that were compared to the Jets have all made the playoffs in the past 10 so years, while the Jets have remained losers, haven't even sniffed the playoffs. Can't
Sucks
make
to
it up.
suck.
It sucks to suck, man. It sucks to suck. We'll see how they turn around things. They have a Monday night game against the Buffalo Bills. If they win this game, they'll have the tiebreaker for right now, and they will be in the lead for the division. So, hey, it's either going to be a great decision or it's going to come back to bite them because there's no in between. It's either going to be good, a smart decision, or it's going to be a horrible decision. I think it's going to be a horrible decision. I don't think it's going to be. I
Yeah,
don't
I
think
don't,
it's
I
going to
don't,
improve
I'm not going.
anything.
I don't, especially since they promoted the defensive coordinator to be the head coach. If the
Right,
offense
right.
was the most concerning side of the football, wouldn't you want to get an offensive-minded guy to run the show? I don't
And it
know.
damn sure it's not Nathaniel Hackett that I want running the show.
Not at
That's
all.
my thing. That's my thing. Like the problem is the offense. It's not the defense. Like, what do you here's my thing with Robert Saleh. I will say that when it comes to the team and them constantly committing penalties, that comes down to the coach. Like you have to make sure that your team is prepared and that they are disciplined enough to avoid having to get called for flags over and over again. I think they're one of the most penalized teams in the NFL. Last year, it was the same exact thing. So, that being said, that falls to the head coach. Like, you have to prepare your players, you have to prepare your team in order to win games. And it just seems like they have not been prepared these past 5 weeks. And I think the owner said, you know what, enough is enough. The same thing is going on that we saw from last year. Nothing has changed, nothing has improved. We have to make a decision. We have to make a change because we're going to lose this football team if we don't make a change. But maybe they've already lost the football team, even with the change. Like they probably already lost it, but we'll have to see. Remains to be seen. We'll react to it another day, but boy, oh boy, this was a shocker, major shocker. I want to go to, let's see, what we got here. Go to my notes. Okay. So, updated. Oh yeah, our record. So, all right. So it was a bad week. It was a very bad week. I was striving for 70% this week. It just extremely backfired on me. First of all, just the amount of games where I thought that, hey, there's no way these teams are going to lose to this other team. And they lost to the other team. I went 6-8. Bad week for me. Brian, what about you? What was your record?
I went 7-7, so I remained 500. Honestly, it could have been worse.
It's just a bad week for us, man. Like the NFL is the most unpredictable sport for a reason. Any
It
given
seems like them
Sunday.
them odd number weeks this year have been killing. Vegas been making a killing
Any given
because
Sunday,
week
like the
two it
movie.
was terrible. Week
Yeah.
I mean no, my bad. No, week 2 was
I had a
terrible.
good
That's
week
even
one.
bad. But yeah.
But yeah, week
Yeah, I
week
had a
two,
good week
yeah.
1, and last week I did pretty good too. But week 2 in this past week spanked.
I don't know what to say, man.
So
It's
many
just
upsets. Like, let me. I'm gonna say how many upsets won. I think one, two, 3, 4. That's not that many now that I'm looking at it. I wish I could look at the odds, but I can't remember what the odds were. But yeah, it was a lot of upsets this week.
so let me ask you this. Since we're talking about upsets, what was the most surprising outcome of this past week?
Most surprising, I would say, the Giants beating the Seahawks.
I was thinking the
And
same thing. Yeah.
it's just like I didn't think this Giants defense would step up and stop the Seahawks offense for as long as they did. It goes to show you just how strong that Giants defensive line is, and honestly, how weak the offensive line for the Seahawks is. They couldn't get the run game going, passing game. They didn't really get it going until like it was pretty much out of reach and too late. And yeah, it was just disappointing performance. I've expected more. I expected DK to give Deontay Banks the work, but he was pretty much
Mhm.
held in check for the most part. I think he had 40 something yards. Like, what is going on here? And
Yeah.
Mac McDonald's defense, they're getting torched. Tyrone Tracy ran for 100 and let me pull up these numbers. I think he ran for 100 and yeah, he ran for 129 yards on you. And he's a fifth round rookie, I believe.
Mhm.
And the Giants, they aren't they can run the ball, but they aren't like the great. They
World
ain't the
beaters.
Lions. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like,
no.
yeah, that defense started off pretty hot the first 2-3 weeks, but then ever since that Lions game has been downtrend. So they got to figure something out. I know they're dealing with a lot of injuries on the D line. You know, Byron Murphy's been missing for a few games, but you got to make a play. I mean, next
Mhm.
man up. I mean, if injuries happen to every team, you just got to go out there and play.
And you know, one thing that we need to give the Giants credit on is the fact that they were able to address the trenches. Like their offensive line and defensive line is actually pretty good. Like the Giants normally they would have a decent defensive line, but then that old line would be trash. This year, they have a good offensive line and defensive line. That's why just imagine if they would have drafted a quarterback. They would have had a good situation now, albeit the wide receiving core isn't the best, but that offensive line is pretty damn good. And I say that because I remember when the Giants faced your team and how
Hmm.
decent they were against the Cowboys defensive line. I was shocked. I was like, wow,
Yeah,
like they're keeping Micah Parsons in check. Like this is surprising for them to go to Seattle of all places. Like Seattle was a tough place to
it was
play in.
12th man.
And for them to just push Seattle around, the defense
It
wasn't
was
able to do
crazy.
much. Was a complete shocker for me because I thought that the Giants didn't have it. I didn't think Daniel Jones could manage the game. I thought Daniel Jones was just garbage. I still think he's garbage, but the fact that they were able to get out of there with the win just speaks to the coaching, just speaks to the development of the offensive line and defensive line. No Malik Neighbors, and you're able
Nope.
to win that game. Come on, man. Like Devin Singletary he wasn't really playing much. I think he was hurt for the most part. Like you cannot make this up. It was just a all around good performance by the
He didn't even
Giants.
play.
Yeah, man. Like it's just unbelievable. I think that was what I pointed out about the Seahawks entering the season. The biggest question mark was their offensive line because I think they had what's this they had that one guy that they traded for years ago from the Denver Broncos. They I think Charles Cross and somebody else on the offensive line. I was like, hey, they got to step up because you know the organization, the team is expecting big things for those guys. They need to step up their play. But man, like that is a big concern for them. They have to figure something out because if they don't, they got San Francisco coming up Thursday night. That's another test for them, even though they've been struggling as well. Hey, it's a division game. You can never
Yep.
count out San Francisco, Nick Bosa. Them dudes, they're gonna be coming for you, and they got to figure something out because if they don't, they're just gonna keep nosediving like the Saints, like some of these other teams that played well in the beginning of the season. I was also a bit shocked with the Cardinals and 49ers game because
That
I
is
thought that
true.
the Cardinals offense, I just look at and I say to myself, like they're so bad from a scheme standpoint, not from a talent perspective. Like they have the playmakers. It's just the scheme is so bad that it really hinders just the potential of this offense. But they were able to get it going. They were able to do some good things at the end. I wouldn't say at the beginning, but more so at the end in the fourth quarter. and they were able to hold Brock Purdy at bay, and they turned Brock Purdy. They made Brock Purdy turn the ball over twice. I was like, wow, they are really doing a number on this 49ers team. And they miss Christian McCaffrey. I know Jordan Mason, he's been running pretty well for them, but Christian McCaffrey is a different beast. Like, he can
he
catch
just
out of the
makes the
backfield,
offense more versatile
more
in
dynamic.
the way defensive coaches got a scheme when CMC's on the field. It's a whole different story.
Yeah, and they were finally able to get Brandon Ayuk going, but
Yeah.
yet again, like, just for whatever reason, the offense just can't get it going. And that Cardinals team with Kyler Murray, with Michael Wilson, with Trey McBride, I don't even think he was playing. So they missing Trey McBride, and you had Marvin Harrison Jr. He was
No,
held at
McBride,
bay.
he played.
He played. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
McBride played. So you had McBride, you had James Conner, you had Michael Wilson, you had Greg Dortch. You have all these guys, and they were able to get by with a W. I think they weren't they on the road. The Cardinals were on the road. They beat them in San Francisco, if I'm not mistaken. That's a
Yep.
huge road win. I didn't expect that to happen against the 49ers. Brock Purdy, I saw a stat. I think when he has the lead, like, he has a damn near like flawless completion percentage. I think he's like in the 70s when it comes to completion percentage. When he's trailing, I think he's like 60% completion percentage. So, like, Brock Purdy, he's a solid QB, man. But, like, we got to understand that there's levels to this. There's levels to greatness. There's levels to QB play. And when everything goes right for Brock Purdy, he's one of the best QBs in the NFL. But when you have to ask him to overcome stuff, more times than not, he's not going to be able to do it. That's why when he was able to come back against my Packers and the Lions, it was a complete shocker because we never really seen him do it that much. But see, now when we come to the regular season, it just seems like he's having a lot of trouble when things aren't perfect with him. He seems to get rattled. He seems to panic a lot more. And I just find that interesting because they had the possession. They were that last drive. I was like, okay, the 49ers are going to win the game. Like, I expect them to win the game, and they didn't. Brock Purdy turned the ball over. I think his pass got batted, and that was game. And I was completely shocked. I was like, wow, I thought Brock Purdy was going to win the game, and he just didn't do it. So that was just another game that shocked me. Do you agree? Were you shocked about the outcome as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I low key thought the 49ers had it in the bag until the all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the Cardinals just came out of nowhere, and it was really off the backs of the run game. Like the 49ers literally couldn't stop the run game. You know, Kyler had that long touchdown run, like the first possession or second possession of the game. And then after that, it was kind of quiet, but then all of a sudden they just came back. And honestly, Kyler, he didn't have like a super big game in the air. He only threw for 195 yards or so on one touchdown. So they was really just killing him on the ground. And the 49ers couldn't do anything with it and do anything with them. And I know divisional games get crazy. You can't really predict them as accurately as they play any other team. But man, I was shocked. It's just like the 49ers, listen, the Super Bowl slump got to hit somebody. And the Chiefs got some type of voodoo or something, because no matter who goes down, they still continue to produce and succeed. So it just might be one of those things with the 49ers. The slump had to get somebody, and it was going to get Kyle Shanahan and them.
I mean, the season's not over yet, but I heard their star safety, he got hurt again. He was out
Hafunga?
all last year. Yeah, he's going to be out for a little minute as well. So they're dealing with a lot of injuries this year. They're 2-3.
Honestly,
I think they're 2-3 right now.
Honestly, he's not that good in my opinion.
He's not that good anymore, or he's never been good to you.
I always kind of feel like he was a little overrated. It felt like he was a Troy Polamalu cosplayer, but he was definitely better before he got hurt last year. I'll say that.
Okay.
This year he's like, ugh.
it's night and day. Like he's a shell of
Yeah.
himself. Well, that's normally these type of things happen after you pay the QB, but they haven't even paid Brock Purdy yet, and they're already
Nope.
dealing with injuries. The talent level isn't
I
what it
wish they
once
would
was.
give Brock Purdy 200 million American dollars. That would be
They're
hilarious.
going to give him over 200 million American dollars, dude. They're going to give him that to a contract, or probably even more than that. So just expect it to
Mm.
happen because it's eventually going to happen, and you're going to be
It ain't my
overjoyed.
team. I hope they pay him. I hope they pay him $200 million.
It's going to be more than 200 million. It's going to be like 250, 260. It's going to be a lot of money.
Honestly, I wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't do it?
No.
Interesting.
No.
All right. Well, on that note, let me ask you this. Let me get my notes real quick. What was the worst loss of the weekend?
The worst loss?
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm probably going to have to go with. I'm gonna go with the NFC. I mean, not NFC. AFC North team. I'm gonna say the worst loss was the Bengals. And I know people
Mm,
gonna be like, "Oh, but they was in it the whole time." That's the thing. They was in it the whole time at home. They had prime. They literally had the game. Literally was gift wrapped for them. Lamar Jackson fumbles the ball in overtime. All you got to do is go down there and make a field goal, and then you just folded.
McPherson.
Yeah,
McPherson
you
folded.
folded, and like you are now 1-4 as a team who had honestly, you can honestly say they had Super Bowl or at least AFC Championship game hype coming into the season because Joe
Yeah.
Burrow's back and Jamar Chase. You're 1-4.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you had to win that game because I mean the AFC is 4 wins. You already have 4 wins and we only week 5. Do you seriously think you're going to run the table for minus the bye for 12 more games and
Yeah.
not get 6+ losses? I don't know. I don't see it.
You also did mention the interception by Joe Burrow, like late in the fourth
Oh yeah,
quarter.
he did throw that interception. Yep.
Yeah, they had the game. Like I think they had the lead, and he threw an interception instead of
Yep.
just playing
I
it
forgot
safe.
about that.
So yeah, man, like
That
they
was
cost
super
themselves
disappointing.
the game yet
Hmm.
again. And I'll say this about the Bengals because Joe Burrow is the most protected quarterback in the NFL. Like I think it's
It's
no
a tie
discussion.
between him and Josh Allen, low key.
Hmm. I think
I'm
Joe
gonna get to
Burrow is
Josh
protected
Allen soon.
more.
I'm gonna get to Josh Allen too.
I think Joe Burrow's protected more. Here's my thing with Joe Burrow. It's because number one, people are still talking about, oh, he beat Mahomes in a playoff game. Oh,
Three
he
years ago.
nearly beat Mahomes again. Like they harp on that. That's what they do. But we gotta be honest. We gotta be hard. Like gotta tell it how it is. Like Joe Burrow has come up short in all of these games when it mattered most. Like for the most part, they've been in like single digit games, one possession games, every single game, I think it is,
Yeah.
except the Carolina game where they won. So besides the one game that they won, they've been in single possession games, and Joe Burrow has come up short every single time. I understand the defense hasn't played well. I understand the defense has been a liability, but you as the quarterback getting paid all that money, people calling you Joe Burr, Joe Cool, you know what I'm
Joe
saying? Joe
Shiesty. Come on, man.
Shiesty, comparing you to Tom Brady and Joe Montana, and you always getting compared to Patrick Mahomes. For you to be 1-4 and those 4 losses were one possession games where you could have won your team the game is inexcusable. There's no excuse for you losing all of those games. You should have been the reason you won. Like the game against the Kansas City Chiefs, the game against the Commanders, the game this past week, you should have won if you played better, but you didn't. And I understand that not all of it is Joe Burrow's fault. For the most part, Joe Burrow, if we put a percentage on it, he's like 10-15% of the reason why they're 1-4. And then there's other reasons. And then after that, you can blame whoever it is. But he's like probably 10% of the reason why they're 1-4, which is not a lot. But he's still the quarterback at the end of the day. He's still the person that controls everything at the line of scrimmage. He dictates everything. And you're 1-4. Doesn't matter that he has 12 passing touchdowns to 2 interceptions. I think he has the best passer rating in the NFL right now. It does not matter because you're 1-4. All those stats are cool. You want a stat
Good for
pad? That's
fantasy.
great. But you're 1-4, and then when they need you most, you can't deliver. And that in itself is why I can't put you over Lamar. I can't put you over Josh right now. Even though Josh, I ain't gonna lie, he kind of struggling right now too. But his team's like 3-3 right now. At least you're 1-4. Like, what's going on, Joe Burrow? Like, seriously, like you're supposed to be the guy that we look to and say he's a closer, he's clutch. But you haven't been clutch. You've been, I hate to say it, like Kirk Cousins put up all these numbers. Fourth quarter rolls around.
You got to preface it. Old Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins. I'm talking about
Commanders.
Kirk Cousins. Commanders first couple of years with the Vikings. Kirk Cousins. Now this year, Kirk Cousins, he's been clutch, and then like I think last year he was pretty solid as well in the clutch. But man, you are just not that guy when it matters most, and that is just weird because the narrative has always been Joe Burrow is amazing when it matters most. You don't want Joe Burrow with the ball in his hands late because he's going to deliver every single time. Well, I hate to say it, that's not the case anymore. We got to change the narrative when it comes to Joe Burrow. He's just not clutch. He's not what he once was. I remember Aaron Rodgers had that narrative. Oh, he's clutch. Oh, you don't want Aaron Rodgers with the ball with 2 minutes remaining. Now it's, if he has the ball last, I'm not scared. I'm not fearful that Aaron Rodgers is going to beat us because I've seen him choke over and over again. I've seen him lay an egg over and over again. And that's the same with Joe Burrow right now. He needs to change something. He needs to, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's play calling. I don't know if he has something on his mind during the game, but he got to do something when it comes to late in these games because right now he is getting outplayed late in these games, and he's laying the egg late in these games, and you just can't excuse it. Like Lamar Jackson, that dude, that brother, he's sensational. Like he is. There's a reason why he should be the undisputed number 2 quarterback in the NFL. Honestly, the way it's going right now, shit, he might be number 1. The way he's playing right now, this dude Lamar Jackson is sensational, and the fact that he outplayed Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow in the same season. I can't praise him enough. Lamar Jackson should get more respect. Lamar Jackson should get more praise. I don't think he gets enough praise for what he's doing. Yeah, has it been perfect? Obviously not, but for him to do what he did against those 3 quarterbacks is, you can't praise him enough, man. I feel like people are just being too harsh because he's the 2-time MVP. He came up short against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. He just keeps coming up short, and I get it. That's a fair critique of him, but man, can we just appreciate greatness sometimes? Like, I mean, it's not always about just the end. Like, can we appreciate the journey? Can we appreciate the moment? You know what I mean? Like, we just, whenever, like some players, like Jason Tatum is another one where like he gets unnecessary hate. Giannis used to be that guy. I'm comparing football and basketball players, but it just seems like with certain players, when they reach a certain point of greatness, we tend to ignore what they did, the greatness that they did, and we just like, well, you didn't do it in the playoffs. Well, when it comes to the playoffs, when it matters most, you're not going to do it. So why should we care in the regular season? Like, damn. Like, he's still a great player. Like, he still did something amazing. Like, can we appreciate that? Can we just praise what he did? Like, damn, why does everything have to revolve around the playoffs? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, damn, like I just hate this winning culture sometimes. This ring culture, excuse me, this ring culture.
I don't subscribe to ring culture stuff. I think that's a silly term. Whoever made that term up is, I don't know who made that term up. They need to never make any new terms ever again. Ring culture, the whole objective of the sport is to win. So yes, we're
Right.
gonna get on people's players' cases about not getting it done when everything they got going on was handpicked for them to win. I like Lamar too. He should have got it done last year. But we ain't talk
Yeah.
about last year. We talk about this year. Lamar's playing great. Team was down
Playing great.
0-2 the first 2 weeks. Fought that adversity, came back, now they 3-2. Gotta respect. He's playing some good. He outplayed a lot of QBs this year. He week after week they get it done. Yeah, he could have fumbled. That game could have went a different way if McPherson makes the field goal. But at the end of the day go in, and the day ended with the Ravens win.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, like you mentioned, like things would have gone different if McPherson made the field goal. I mean, the same thing with Mahomes. Like he's just him and Mahomes. Like the same thing that happened to Lamar happened to Mahomes. Like just lucky breaks. It happens in sports. It happens with QBs. You just that's why with Burrow and with the Cincinnati Bengals, make sure you have a comfortable lead so you don't have to be in those scenarios. That's just the luck of the draw. That's just how it is. What are you going to say?
I was going to get, since we was talking about QBs, I was going to segue into the Bills and that atrocious performance Josh Allen put together. 9 for 30. That is less than 33%.
It's Tebow.
That is horrible, man. I'm sorry. Like, you are a top 3 QB. We got to get on you for this. Are you kidding me? 9 for 30. I know, it was a rough game. The Texas defense, they're pretty stout and solid, but man, you was getting MVP hype early in the season. Now it's just hype. It's just September. September is over. Now it's kind of like, oh, there goes the bad Josh Allen we see. And it's coaching, the coaching, oh my goodness, that drive.
Yeah, that last drive was terrible.
Why in the world are we calling 3 deep shots in your own, like, what is going on? Y'all are on like the 5-yard line. What are y'all doing? That was insane. And they just keep going deep. I'm like, Josh Allen, I know you want to run with the coach call, but at some point you got to be like, nah, this is ridiculous. I'm like, I'm not running this. Or if I'm going to run this play, I'm not going to take the deep shot. Like, that was just silly football, man. The Joe Brady, you was bugging right there. I'm not going to lie. I don't know what you was thinking. You couldn't design no quick little pass out the backfield. If you want to throw the ball to James Cook in the flat and let him work in the open field. Why are we like? I don't know. I just don't know. That was silly in the freaking. And now I'm gonna switch to the Texans. Bobby Slowick, boy, oh boy. I don't know how many times I gotta say this, but you better thank the whatever deity or whatever religion, whatever God you pray to. You better thank the Lord that you got CJ Stroud on your team, because boy, some of them play calls, I was like, bruh, it was just ridiculous. Stop running the ball on first down every single drive. I mean, it's insanity. I don't understand what his plan
Especially
is.
it doesn't work.
It's ridiculous. It's every week with this dude. Like, you would think he learned his lesson, but no. Oh my goodness, that game was there was a lot of disappointment in that game. Texans, they pulled it out though. Defense won them the game for the most part. Josh Allen was in a box, really couldn't do much of anything.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's all I want to say. I'm sick and tired of these offensive coordinators around the league just not putting their players in the best position to maximize their personnel, and it's just a shame.
It's unwatchable, really. It's unwatchable.
It's a good thing CJ Stroud is he's so good at football.
He's that good.
He plays like a vet, and he's a second-year player.
Hey, if he keeps playing
doing
well,
a lot of carrying,
he might enter top 5 combos. Matter of fact, he might be in top 5 combos.
I'm about to say, what's
Honestly,
really stopping him at
what?
this point?
You know what? At this point, I might have him over Herbert. Like the way that he's playing, I know Herbert don't have the talent, but like, bruh, like he is just phenomenal. Like I saw the clips on Twitter. Dude was spinning out, creating something out of nothing. He's phenomenal. And they're gonna be out with they're not gonna have Nico Collins for I think a week. I think he got hurt, dinged up a little bit. So we'll see
Hamstring, I
what
think.
Bobby Slowick draws up because without your number one receiver, whew, don't get me wrong, Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs ain't no slouch, but you're struggling with those three dudes, and you're missing your number one guy, the guy that's leading the league in like receiving yards. It's not a good sign. That's a lot. That's going to be a lot on CJ Stroud's shoulders. Dalton Schultz, he's going to have to step up his game as well. Yeah, man, I expected more from that Texans team. You know, I guess when you come from the Shanahan tree, there's a level of expectations and a little bit more lenient, I assume, when it comes to the play caller because he comes from the Shanahan tree. Oh, he knows what he's doing. Like not necessarily. You know,
And don't
sometimes.
don't get it confused that we aren't saying the Texans are a bad team. Like,
No,
I'm
they're
not
not.
saying Bobby Slowick is a bad. Like he can draw up plays. The problem
Yeah.
with him is situational football and some of the decisions he makes on early downs. It just blows my mind sometimes.
Right. Make it easier for CJ Stroud over the course of the
Oh,
drive. And
saw a stat. It was on third downs. He was like 8 for 15 against the Bills, but the average distance was 3rd and 7.
mhm.
You do not want to put your QB third and long on every third down. Like it's not ideal.
Yeah, the first down plays are where Bobby Sloak is a bit skeptical, is what I heard. Like he just doesn't seem to really try to make it easy for CJ Stroud on the first down. And when you're constantly trying to constantly trying to get back to a good spot in the drive, it's going to put a lot of pressure on CJ Stroud's shoulder. He's going to have to make something out of nothing, and that's what he's been doing these first 5 weeks in the NFL season. And the offense hasn't really gotten to a groove yet. Maybe it will eventually. You know, again, like
This
we
team should be
saw,
putting up 30 every week,
absolutely.
or
You know,
just about.
we've seen like a lot of these offenses haven't gotten to a groove yet, but you know they're starting to get into a groove now. Not enough preseason, not enough time to really get the chemistry straight. So hopefully this Texans offense can finally figure something out. You know, we're going into week 6. This is about the time where teams are starting to find their identity, starting to connect the dots. And without Nico Collins, you still have 2 top receivers, you still have a quality tight end and a semi decent offensive line. There's no excuse. All right.
I got one more game I want to talk about.
Yeah. Go right ahead.
I will get up here and admit I was wrong. I was wrong about my Cowboys losing to the Steelers this week.
Ow.
Um, I was wrong. I thought, I mean, it was literally even before the pregame. People thought it was going to be like a messy game. It was literally everything was aligned for the Steelers to take over and win this game. Dak was turning the ball over through 2 interceptions and lost a fumble, and it was like, man, there's no way we win this game. And lo and behold, on 4th down, do or die scenario, Dak Prescott, less than 20 seconds left in the 4th quarter, steps back, bounce Tolbert, end zone, boom, touchdown, takes the lead. Now, I was on his case throughout the game, through my tweets and messages in the group chat. I definitely was on this case because I feel like he was throwing the game for us. But when it was on the line, when he needed to lay it all out there, 2-minute drill, he did what he does. He has 23 game-winning drives. I mean, hey, that's what we paying you all this money for. When it's time to win a game, win the game. And I gotta salute the defense. We missing about 7 dudes on defense. Came out there, They couldn't get the run game going. We kept Justin Fields in the pocket, forced him to play QB and make some throws and read. He couldn't do it for an entire game, and got out there with a dub. So salute Mike Zimmer. He got them boys ready to play out there. Interesting how we lose our best players in the defense. I'm not going to continue that thought.
Hey, let
But
me
hey,
talk to you about this though. First of all, it was a good matchup for the Cowboys. We should have known that this was a good matchup for the Cowboys because you're playing
was
against
it
a
really?
team with a sub. Yes, it was, bro. It was like no Jalen
Steelers a
Warren. The
top 10
offense,
defensive unit, and the
yeah, but
Cowboys.
offensively, like without your best two pass rushers, it still didn't matter because you're playing against a subpar offense. Like the offense is not all that good. It's not all that dynamic. There's no really good receivers besides George Pickens, and George Pickens is a headache. He's a guy that will not put 100% effort into a play a lot of times. So you're working with that. And then Arthur Smith, he's the offensive coordinator. It's just so much stuff that plays in the hands of the Cowboys. It was just a good matchup for you guys. Like you didn't have to worry too much about the passing attack, about the receivers getting separation at all because they're not all that good. Like Van Jefferson and George Pickens were dropping passes left and right. George Pickens, he was quitting on plays. He wasn't even going full speed a lot of times in his routes, and he crashed out at the end of the game against George. What was it? What's
Jordan
that
Lewis.
corner? Bruh, come on, man. Like he's just these Steeler wide receivers, dude, like Deontay Johnson, Antonio Brown, Mike Wallace. Yeah, I'm going all the way back to him. Who else? Bruh. Man, they just have so many dudes, bruh. Like Martavius Bryant, like all these guys, like they just are a headache. Like they are just problems on the football field, not just from a talent perspective, but from a perspective of they can cost your team a game. And George Pickens, he's just not a dude you can win with. It's just plain and simple. Like he cannot be your number one.
He definitely has an effort issue.
Bro, he will quit on your football team, and you better pray the lucky stars that the Cowboys didn't draft George Pickens.
I know, right?
Boy, oh boy, him and CeeDee Lamb on the same team would be a nightmare. Not from a talent perspective, but from a disaster perspective. Because George Pickens would be in Dak Prescott's ear every single drive. Like after every single drive, I'm open. What are you doing? Why aren't you passing me the ball for? Now the CeeDee Lamb clip, it was clarified that all he said was, hey, jump ball, I got you. Nothing serious at all. Nothing serious. People tried to.
I don't know why people thought CD didn't even have like bad body language this game.
Yeah. But they're gonna run away with a narrative about CD.
It sells clicks or whatever.
Yeah, it sells clicks.
Yeah, man, I'm glad the young guys they stepped up this game big time, especially Jalen Tolbert. I had high hopes for him since he got drafted. He hasn't really showed us anything, but this year, hey man, he got 240. So he has more receiving yards than Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Damn.
Even though I know Mom, he missed the game and everything.
Yeah, he did. But still.
Exactly. Like, come on now. If I would have told you
that
is
availability.
No, he missed the game because of a bye week.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I meant. He missed the game, missed the sample size because of bye week. But yeah, man, James. Hey, I thought we was cooked food, but hey, Jalen Tolbert is really stepping up as a solid wide receiver 2 guy. And hey, I'll take it. And I've been saying forever and ever and ever. I said a lot of these teams they can afford to start off slow on offense, commit turnovers, but if they lean on the defense just so we could get right, that's what I've been wanting the Cowboys to do this whole time, and they finally did it. The offense was looking shaky. We were 20 for 20. We was good. We got in the red zone. That's when the foolishness happened. But the defense held on, man. So salute to them guys. I wasn't expecting that either. So
hey, I wanna say this about people that think that the Steelers should bench Justin Fields and start Russell Wilson. y'all are out of your mind because this game was not on Justin Fields. Matter of fact, the past 2 losses are not on Justin Fields. This offense is so limited on what they can do from just a talent perspective and from a play calling perspective. You got to remember who is the play caller. It's Arthur Smith. Did we not see what he did with the Falcons a year ago? Albeit Taylor Heineke and Desmond Ridder, two of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL, but there was moments last year, even no matter who was at QB, it could have been you or me at QB. The play calling was questionable as hell. And this season, it's the same thing. Like, they're not even opening up the playbook. They're very conservative. The running game, they can't get anything going. There's just nothing there. It's very vanilla. It's very generic. It seems like a preseason offense. There's just nothing there that you look at and you say, wow, like that was an amazing play call by Arthur Smith. Like, wow, that was an amazing just passing concept, running concept by Arthur Smith. Like, nothing from the Steelers offense indicates that they're going to be a good offense. That's why they need Devontae Adams, because if you're going to have any semblance of a passing offense, you need another good wide receiver, because George Pickens is not good enough. George Pickens is not a number 1 receiver. He's not a guy that you can rely on. And for them to continuously not spend a whole lot of money on the offense year after year after year is malpractice. It is egregious how the Steelers just don't seem to care all that much about investing in the offense. Like, why? I just don't get it. Like, they want to just draft players and develop them, or get a wide receiver in the 2nd round and, oh, he'll be good one day. Like, no, like, you have to really go out there and invest in your offense. And they just don't seem to do that. They haven't done that since the Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, Triple B's era, when they were in electric offense. But I think that era taught Mike Tomlin, like, hey, let's go back to how we were in the late 2000s, when 2008, 2010s, where we were all defense. We were tough-minded. We were punching people in the face. Like, we were pushing them all over the place. Well, guess what? Your offense stinks. So that mentality, you still stink. So Justin Fields is not the problem. They need to open up the playbook. It just seems like why does Justin Fields always have to have a below average play caller, mediocre to below average skill position players? Like, why does he always have to deal with this? He never can have a solid offensive team around him. He always has to be the person to overcome. He always has to be the person that has to play perfect football in order to win. He always has to be the person that you better not turn the ball over or it's over. Like, why does Justin Fields have to be on a leash? Why can't Justin Fields why does Justin Fields always have to be the person that is scrutinized the most, that he's the scapegoat? Why can't it be on the head coach? Why can't it be on the offensive coordinator? Why can't it be on just the weapons around him? It's always like, this is mostly Twitter that I'm talking to. Like, obviously, like, the media, they understand it. They are addressing that. But man, like, it just seems like people on Twitter, they like to just criticize Justin Fields. Like, Justin Fields is not the problem.
No. And people who think Russ is just somehow going to come in and make the offense drastically better, you lost your mind. We seen what he looked like with Broncos last year. And honestly, personnel for personnel, the Steelers aren't much different compared to last year's Broncos. And they had a better play caller. At least Sean Payton, he can call some plays.
Yeah.
Arthur Smith, what does he do well? I don't think, what does he do well? He couldn't even get the run game going against a team that has been pretty bad in the run defense department this year. So, I mean, what do they expect Justin Fields to do? Cowboys came in and said, listen, we are going to play contain, and you were going to have to stand in this pocket to make some throws. Dudes wasn't getting open.
Well, they were dropping passes. Like,
And, yeah, that
you can only do so much. He can only do so much when guys keep dropping passes and they quit on plays. There's nothing he can do. And it's just he still had 2 touchdowns. He had 2
Exactly.
touchdowns and he only threw the pick because I think they were either down in the game. Was that was the final drive? I think it was after you
Yeah.
guys scored. Huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That
that
was
was
the
the
final.
final
So
drive.
he had no choice. Like he was trying to make something happen and he threw a pick. So I'm not even going to put that on him. So he had 2 touchdowns with that bad of an offense. Like what is he supposed to do?
And also, didn't Mike Tomlin use a timeout on that drive the Cowboys had that last drive?
I think so.
I
Yeah, I
want to
think so.
say
Yeah.
he did. Why?
I think I don't know. I don't know
Like
about that one.
you could have gave your QB some leeway going into his final drive, try to get in field goal range instead of having to pretty much drive the whole length of the field, no timeouts, and then having to like I don't know. It's just you know,
And
that's
then
just
do
crazy.
people forget that Justin Fields, before the Cowboys scored, Justin Fields scored a touchdown that drive.
Yep, he
Like
did. But the game, it
he
was
he
17
took
to
the
13, I
lead.
believe. Yeah.
They took the lead. The Steelers took the lead because Justin Fields drove them all the way down to score a touchdown. So are people just forgetting that actually happened? Like he actually came through. He was actually clutch. But by the time they got the ball back, it was too late. They had like, what is it, 20 seconds at most? Like, what is he supposed to do with
I
that
don't even
much
think they had
time?
20 seconds.
Probably had like 15 seconds. Like they didn't
17
have
or
much
something like
time.
that.
So
Yeah.
like, what is he supposed to do with that, man? That's all I got to say on that matter. Let's go.
Oh
Let's see what we
yeah.
got here. Yeah, what were you gonna say?
That's just the era we in QB wins. If you don't win, you trash and you need to get replaced.
Yeah. So I want to go to let's give our grades for the top 2 rookie QBs in the
Okay.
2024 draft. Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams. They both had phenomenal weekends. Let me ask you this, Brian. What's your grade for Jaden Daniels? What's your grade for Caleb Williams?
All right, for Jaden Daniels, considering my expectations for him coming into the season and how he's actually performing, I have to give him an A. He's been playing really good football. I mean, I haven't really had any much complaints for him. He's accurate. He's finally doing stuff that honestly, if you watch LSU film, he really wasn't doing. He's making throws on a run and they're dots. And he's scrambling out the pocket, is keeping his eyes upfield, looking for receivers. He's not just immediately scrambling. It feels like he's getting way more comfortable in that Cliff Kingsbury offense. And they on a roll, man. The Browns, they ain't stand a chance. I give him I give him A so far this week. He's been playing 5 weeks of good football. So salute. And for Caleb Williams, I'll give him. He started off very, very shaky, and that was due to offensive line play calling issues. But these past 2 weeks, he really kicked it up, man. His passer rating has been going up and up every week. I'll give him a B. I'll give him a B because of that slow start in the first 2-3 weeks of the season. It was kind of, but he's really picked it up. I'll give Caleb Williams a B.
You gonna give him a B for last week's performance?
I thought you meant for like the totality of the season.
I was talking about just the game itself.
Oh, just the game. Oh yeah, I give Caleb an A.
Okay. Yeah.
Them Panthers got cooked.
Yeah.
He was dealing out there. So yeah, I'll give both of them A. I thought you meant for like the whole season.
Dimes. He was throwing dimes, man. I forget how Jaden Daniels threw that first interception. I don't recall what he did.
I think it was in the red zone, and it was to JOK.
Okay. So I'll give Jaden Daniels a. He is a rookie, so I'll give him a B plus. 56% completion percentage. I know I'm going off of numbers. They did blow him out. He was dominant, but I'm gonna give him a B plus. I think he could have been a little bit better taking care of the football and also from a completion percentage. So I'll give him a B plus, which is still a good score. For Caleb Williams, I'm gonna give him an A. Like he was phenomenal. Like he has significantly improved since week 1. Although Shane Waldron is still the OC, it didn't matter because he was just dominant against the what was it, the Carolina Panthers or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, so he was finally were able to get DJ Moore going, which is great because I have DJ Moore. I just enjoyed everything I saw from Caleb Williams. It just seems like he put everything together finally, and it seems like the game is starting to slow down with him. That one play where he went through all of his reads before he got to DJ Moore, that he threw all the way to the end zone, like that was just amazing possession for him. That just shows his growth, his ability to process information fast. The line was able to protect him, even though it was like only 2 seconds. Still, it was just a phenomenal play by Caleb Williams, and he's just going to keep getting better and better. And I expect nothing more than that from Caleb Williams. I think we should be seeing that from Caleb Williams just in the future, just having these sort of games where he puts on the show, because that's what his talent dictates. That's what we expect from him, albeit a rookie. We've heard the hype. We've heard all of the different things about Caleb Williams, and for him to put on that performance, you can't say enough about. Can't praise him enough about that performance.
Yeah.
All right.
Great game.
Great game. Man, you brought up the Browns. Let me ask you this. Between the Browns, Raiders, Jets, I'll throw in the Panthers as well. What's the most dysfunctional organization between those four?
The most dysfunctional.
Yeah.
I'll say, I gotta say the Panthers, because
Really?
it's just the same stuff, same crap, different toilet with them. It's they letting dudes. You see how the dudes that leave Carolina, they go and do well. DJ Moore left. Look at him in Chicago. Baker Mayfield left. Look at him in Tampa Bay. Sam Darnold left. Look at him in Minnesota.
Minnesota.
It's just like it's a common thing. CMC left. Look at him with the 49. I mean, he's hurt now, but he had two pretty good years with the 49. It just seems like once you leave that organization, your career gets goes on an upward trajectory. And it's just David Tepper, he's just not a good owner. I'm sorry, he's just not. His personnel, I know they definitely tried this offseason. They shored up the offensive line, which is a good thing, but you can't figure out the QB position. The defense has regressed. It's just super dysfunctional. It's just every year after year, you think the Panthers finally maybe figure something out, and it's just nope. Same old. And I'm not sure how exactly are they going to get better. I have no idea. At least, I don't really think they don't really have much going for themselves as of right now. I mean, they got young talent, but as far as results on the field, they play. I know the Andy Dalton mania that's like 2 games or whatever, but at least I can say the Jets have a top 5 defensive unit. I can't say that. I can't say anything about the Panthers like that.
There's nothing to hang your hat on. There's nothing that gives you optimism when it comes to that team. Like, you can't say, "Oh, the defense is good, but the offense sucks." Oh, the offense is good, the defense
They can
sucks.
run the ball.
Oh, you know, we have a bright future. You know, we have a rookie, not a rookie, but like a second year that's really progressing. Like, you have none of that. Like, it's just dysfunction and pessimism. I'll have to agree with you on that one. I think with the Panthers, the owner, he's just not patient at all. He's ready to fire a coach after 1 year. He has I think it was his wife in the meeting room when I think it's during draft time, was it? It was either free agency or draft time. Yeah, and she's giving her opinion on stuff. It's like, what? Like, are you serious? And I have no problem with women being like involved in, especially if you're qualified. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, but she's not qualified. Like, she's not
a football mind.
She's not a part of the football team, the football operation. She's not a staff member. Like, she's just there because she's married to the owner. So I'm a bit confused about that one. That's just a bad look. And you bring in a new coach, and even the coach was, I'm gonna leave that alone. But regardless, yeah, the Panthers, they're just so dysfunctional, man. There's just nothing to hang your hat on. There's no bright spot. You trade away DJ Moore, and then you draft the QB, and then guess what? The QB don't have no receivers. Don't have no receiver to separate. You traded away his number one receiver that would have been able to separate, and he would have been able to throw the ball to.
And then you also mismanaged the Brian Burns situation. You could have had like 2 firsts, but you let him walk for free and didn't even offer a contract. Like what was the point?
Yeah.
You weren't a competing team.
Yeah. Hey, so speaking of one of the teams that I put in the most dysfunctional organizations, I want to talk about the Browns real quick.
The Browns, they terrible too.
This is
one man.
This is a colossal disaster. So Deshaun Watson, they lose again. They lost the Commanders. They got blown out by the Commanders. And I think they allowed like 7 or 8 sacks, and like 4 of the sacks was Deshaun Watson's fault. Like he ran into the sack. Now, the other ones, obviously, Deshaun Watson couldn't do much about it. But that's just, I say that to say that Deshaun Watson, although it's not the most perfect situation, you're still at fault for this. Matter of fact, you're at most of the fault. Like, if we have a percentage, you're probably 70% of the fault why the Browns aren't where they at. Because you suck. When he was with the Texans, things weren't perfect. Like, the offensive line wasn't perfect, but he still was able to overcome. He still had a top 5 offense. He still was considered a top 5 QB, even when he didn't have the DeAndre Hopkins, even when he had to rely on Will Fuller and all these other mid-tier wide receivers, and he didn't have a great offensive line. He was still a phenomenal QB. What happened? What is going on with him? Because he never had a perfect situation in Houston, and he was still able to be one of the better QBs in the NFL, be a top 5 QB. I don't think people understand like the significance of the drop off that we're seeing with Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson at one point was so good that we were looking at him like as one of the faces of the league, possibly. He goes from one of the faces to the league to first year with the Browns, one of the worst QBs in the NFL. I can't remember a drop off this significant from a player.
Read these stats right quick for you.
Right ahead.
His last season in Houston, he had 4,800 passing yards, 33 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. That probably would have won MVP last year.
Easily.
So yeah, he was very nice. His worst season before the Cleveland thing, he had 26 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. And that's not even the worst. That's one of Trevor Lawrence's best seasons.
Bro, you put up those numbers in today's game, you're top 10. Like easily, it's not even a question.
Yeah, he's just terrible. He's lost it. Them allegations got to him. And yeah, ever since the whole lawsuit scenario, he's been cooked food. And granted, the Cleveland Browns org isn't absolved of any fault at all or any blame. The offensive line they got out there is horrible. The offensive personnel like Jerry Jeudy, he still can't catch a few times. Amari Cooper be doing Amari Cooper stuff. Some games he's good. Some games it's like, where's Amari Cooper? And and the defense definitely took a big step back as far as because they was at least granted they showed flashes of them being fraudulent because they was like 30th, one of the worst defenses in points per game allowed on the road last year. But at least on the home field, they was like the best. So you at least had you could hang your hat on that. This year they terrible no matter where they play. So it's just bad. It's a bad situation. And honestly, as I would say, I kind of feel bad that they the ownership is in this position, but I kind of don't. You knew the risk when you gave him all that money. No one told you to give him a fully guaranteed contract. Nobody told you had to do that. But you said, you know what? Even though he got these allegations, we haven't seen him play football in about a year. We're still gonna put all our eggs in this one QB's basket. And look, now you're getting cooked. The eggs are spoiled. And I know the Falcons is probably like, whew, I'm glad we ain't
Thank
get
God.
him because good grief, they in a bad spot right now.
Yes, they are. I will say this, like, man, I think Dan Orlowski pointed this out, and I thought it was very interesting when it comes to the offensive play calling, the system that the Browns are running. Dan Orlowski said that that's not Kevin Stefanski's system. Like this whole idea of, oh, we're just going to be in the shotgun for the majority of the time. That's not Kevin Stefanski's system. So Kevin Stefanski, he's trying everything to appease Deshaun Watson, and Deshaun just can't do it. He's just not good enough anymore. And that is the scary part of all of this. The fact that the coach is trying so hard to appease a player that is washed now. Like he's just not who he once was. And it's just a sad affair that we're watching before our very eyes, because you can tell that Kevin Stefanski has no control of the situation. He has no control of the fact that will Deshaun start or not. Like he can't. It just seems like that's an ownership decision. That's not a head coaching decision, because if Kevin Stefanski had control, you damn well should sit Deshaun Watson and put James Winston in the game. Albeit James Winston, he's not good. He probably get more juice for this team than Deshaun Watson. There was a clip. I think it was during like maybe close to the end of the first half where I think they were like fourth down. They could have gone for it, but Deshaun elected to not go for it. Deshaun elected to not
What
go
happened?
for it.
That clip got misconstrued.
Oh, it did? Really?
He did walk away, but the reason he did because it was 12 men in the huddle, and if he would have walked in, they would have immediately got a penalty, and then so he just said, "It's no point." So that's what happened.
Okay. Thanks for the clarification, because I was about to go there. I was just about to go. I'm like, yo,
I will go
crazy.
here though. What?
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen a single clip this season of Deshaun Watson leading the team in a pregame huddle speech, anything. Why is the backup QB doing that? And he's not going to play. Like I don't even think the team is rallying behind this dude, honestly.
I'll raise you one more. I'll raise you another one. Whenever Deshaun Watson, whenever the camera is sort of pointing at Deshaun Watson, he looks like unengaged. Like he doesn't even look like he really cares what's going on around him. Like he's just you see like he's touching on his ear or whatever, his earring, whatever. Like I'm like, he does not look like he gives a damn what's going on the field.
He probably doesn't. He said, "Shoot, I'm getting paid regardless. They owe me 230 M's."
Like the body language is just awful when it comes to this quarterback. I just don't like the guy. As a football player, I don't like the guy as a football player. I mean, as a person, I don't really know him, but just going off of what transpired, he's probably not a good dude. So, yeah, when you do that to those many women, you're probably not a good dude. So I'll leave it at that. But in terms of like a football player, I wouldn't want him started for my team like ever.
I wouldn't even want him as a backup at this point.
High school, college, NFL, Canadian Football League, XFL. I wouldn't want him to start for my team, no matter what league it is.
Remember when you brought up last week how the broken vase thing? He's broken at this point.
Oh yeah, he's a bunch of small pieces.
Yeah,
that's what he is. Like you smash the vase to the ground, and it's just all over the place. That's what he is right now. Yeah, it's not even close. He's broken beyond repair. I want to talk about this because I have to admit this. As a Packers fan, I have to admit something because I'm a bit scared. I'm a bit furious. We beat the Rams, but it wasn't pretty. And I have a big concern. It's that defensive line. That defensive line is not good, man. Like, I was watching the game and we have no pass rush. It's just ugly. I'm looking at the pass rush. I'm like, yo, where are y'all at? Like, y'all getting pushed around. It was ugly, Brian. Like, Matthew Stafford had all day in the pocket. I'm surprised we won the game. I said it during the prediction show. I was like, man, this Packers defense, I don't know. Like, they kind of scare me. But we still won the game, and I still picked them. But boy, it was a nail biter. And we just got to praise Xavier McKinney because he was an amazing signing for us because he has like 5 picks in like 5 straight games.
Yeah.
Sensational. But boy, Rashawn Gary, dude, you got paid all that money and you just forgot how to pass rush. I don't know what you did in the offseason. I don't know what you're doing, but are you locked in? I see you were doing that Invisalign commercial. You got paid all that money. Are you locked in? Are you seriously locked in? Because all of a sudden you forgot how to pass rush. Like, what is going on? Lucas Van Ness, oh my God. Like, he don't know what he's doing on the football field. Like, it's just not working, man. It's just not working. Kenny Clark, like the problem with this team is this. The defensive coordinator is actually doing a really good job. Like, he's scheming stuff up. He's doing his part. The players have to do their part. Like,
it's mostly the front 4 or the front 7. The secondary play has been really pretty good.
We can't spoon feed you everything. Like, let me tell you this. So, whenever we're able to get pressure, it's when we send more than 4. So, like, it's a design blitz. We're sending 5 to 6 guys. So you'll free up like a linebacker or a safety or a corner or somebody that's blitzing. But when you ask the pass rush to like, hey, you're gonna have to make a play yourself. Like, we're only gonna send 4. We're only gonna send 3. You're just gonna have to do it yourself. They can't do it. Jeff Hafley has to draw something up. He has to be creative in designing something in order for them to get some type of pressure against the quarterback. Because if not, he's going to be standing in the pocket all day. And that's the problem with this team. The secondary is okay. If Jair gets healthy, we'll be fine. But that defensive line, man, they are ass. Stopping the run. They are trash. Trying to get to the quarterback. They are trash. It is egregious. They should be stuck in the facility, in whatever practice facility that they're in, and they should be just stuck there for the entire night working on pass rush moves, working on something, because they cannot get any pressure against any offensive line. The only time we were able to do it against against the Titans, because the Titans, they have one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL. Like, I think they had like all their offensive line is pretty much new. I think they said, like, they're pretty young and they're all new. So that was an anomaly. 8 sacks, like, come on now. Like, that was an anomaly. But all these other teams, we just cannot get to the quarterback. And it is concerning. This team right now, I'll say right now, this is not a Super Bowl caliber team.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that one. Yeah.
Because if your defensive line can't make it difficult for a quarterback, you're not a Super Bowl team. Like, you're not a Super Bowl team. We're very one-dimensional on our defense. If we're not getting turnovers from the secondary, we're pretty much going to get exposed because this defensive line is awful. I will say our linebacking core is actually pretty decent. I think it's the most underrated group on our defense because Edgerrin Cooper has been good. Quay Walker, he's shown some flashes then and there. So I like our linebacking group, but that defensive line needs to play better. It's just awful. We spent so much money investing in this defensive line for them to not come back and at least give some semblance of production. Like, you don't have to be like a top 10, but at least like middle of the pack. Like, you don't like middle of the pack. You can't be middle of the pack. Yeah, it's just embarrassing, man. It's embarrassing. And on the other note, Jordan Love, I appreciate the aggressiveness, the assertiveness, the confidence in that throw to Jaden Reed, but don't do that again. You had me like almost have a heart attack. That throw he completed to Jaden Reed, that was not a good read at all. That was a horrible idea, but it worked. It worked, so we got very lucky. But that was in like triple coverage. It was a phenomenal throw, but that was a horrible read. That was a very bad read. Um, let's see here. What we got? What we got? Oh, real quick, give me your. I didn't write it down, but uh, give me your three guys that you want to salute for
Okay,
week
okay,
5.
yeah, I could do that. I could do that. Let me look at. I got one for sure, and
Yeah.
let me think other two. Okay, I got two, and for the third one, I'll put. Oh, okay, I think I got a third one. Let me just double check. Where's he at? What? That's so stupid. Hold on, let me see. I'm looking at a defensive player stat. That's why. That's why I'm like
All right, gotcha.
trying to, because ESPN for whatever reason didn't think it was a good idea to put however many is. All right. I got my three.
Okay, here we go. All right,
First,
Brian.
to
Who you
jump
want
it
to
off,
salute?
salute of the week. First off, we want to start with Kirk Cousins, man. Prime time Kirk is in full effect this year. He had 500 yards against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, divisional rival, by the way, and had a clutch drive in overtime to seal the game. 4 touchdowns, only one interception, 500 yards. Hey, man, no run game, really. So he pretty much had to do everything with his arm. He really shut up the doubters and non-believers this year. Second on the list, I'm going to go with the fellow NFC East rival. I'm going to go with Tyrone Tracy. 5th-round rookie, first game starting. Devin Singletary out going against a Seahawks defense on the road, puts up 129 yards. Very efficient running. This was a game nobody expected the Giants to win, and he got up there. He said, "You know what? Put it on me. I got you. I'm gonna run y'all to victory." And for the third and final salute, I'm gonna go with the defensive player out of the AFC West. I'm going Pat Surtain. Pat Surtain, PS2. And listen, he got plenty of game. I'll tell you that much. 2 interceptions. One was a pick six, I believe. And man, he was out there shutting down whole side of the field. You threw in that his every time Gardner missed, you threw in his direction. Bad things happen. And that is my 3 salutes of the week.
I like it. I like the creativeness. I like going outside of the box with that one. Great picks, great picks. That'll do it for the salute segment of the week. I want to get to the final segment of the show, and that is our predictions for Thursday Night Football. We have the Seahawks versus the 49ers, another good matchup. Thank God. Divisional matchups are always great, depending on who it is. If it's the Giants, then that's a different story. But this matchup right here, I like it. Seattle 49ers. Seattle will be at home, 49ers on the road. Who do you have winning this game, Brian?
That is a great question. Honestly, the way the NFC West has been this year, it could go either way. I know the Seahawks, they're on a bit of a losing streak now, but
49ers
from
too. I
what
mean,
I've
they've been
seen, from what I've seen,
4-3. Yeah.
the for how this defense has been playing for the Seahawks, they can't stop the run as of right now. And the 49ers love to run the football. I'm gonna go with the 49ers. I think it'll be a close game though. Because as you can see, the 49ers, they couldn't even stop Arizona. And the Seahawks offense is good. And honestly, outside of Nick Bosa, I think Hargrave is still injured, so they not really getting much pressure on the interior. I know Dexter Lawrence was able to cause plenty of havoc against that Seattle O-line. And like I say, it's way easier to scheme against elite edges than elite D tackles because that pressure up the middle, you can't really step up in the pocket and things like that. All you got to do is pretty much play contain and have your 3 tech, 1 tech, or whatever cause mayhem. And that middle is going to put a lot of stress and unnecessary pressure on the QB. But I'm gonna go with the 49ers. I think it'll be a close game though. I'm thinking about do I think 49ers cover 3.5 points? I don't. The fact that they're favored 3.5 points on the road is very interesting though. They think they'll win by at least a touchdown, Vegas. But I don't think they'll cover 3.5. They probably win this game. I say 28-25.
Okay, that sounds interesting. That should be a really fun game. That if it turns out like that, I just hope the 49ers are to winning the game.
I
do
don't
you
want them
think
to win either, but
so let me ask you this, like when it comes to the defense of the Seahawks, obviously their rush defense is not good at all. But what about the passing defense? Like Devin Witherspoon, Tariq Woolen, do you think they'll be able to at least keep Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel at bay, because those are two pretty solid corners.
to be fair, Mike McDonald is good against Shanahan tree dudes. So they could keep him relatively quiet for the most part. But at the end of the day, they're dealing with injuries. If they get dudes like Byron Murphy back, then I like their chances a lot more, especially stopping a run game and just putting pressure on Brock Purdy, because the 49ers O-line, honestly, not that great. And Brock Purdy is known to turn the ball over, and Tariq Woolen and Devon, they can definitely create turnovers or create interceptions. So, like I said, it's going to be a close game, but I'm going to go with the 49ers. Oh, yeah, Jake Moody, he's going to be out.
Yeah, he is going to be out. Yep. Well, do you think that like the you got to remember the 49ers as well, their defense has been struggling stopping the run
And they
as
just
well.
lost. And they just
Yeah.
lost some secondary help. So
well, my thing with you is that do you think that the Seahawks will be able to get a running game going? I think Kenneth Walker, he should be playing that game, so that's a
yeah.
plus. So do you think they'll be able to get their running game going against a not so good rushing defense in the 49ers?
I think they can, because the Cardinals had a pretty solid day running the football. So I think even though the Seahawks their run blocking isn't great,
All that great.
honestly. Yeah, but I think they could do it if they could replicate what Kenneth Walker did in that. I believe it was the Lions game.
Yeah.
Yes, I think they could make some shake. Division games get crazy. Anything could throw whatever traditional football. Now you could throw that out the window at this rate, because both of these teams, one's 3-2, one is 2-3, and it ain't the teams you expect with them records that got them. So I'm gonna still lean 49ers though.
Do I see the 49ers going 2-4?
That's really my thing. I'm like, ugh.
Man, but they're on the road though, and they've been struggling.
Yeah,
This is I'm conflicted, bro. I'm so conflicted on this one. Oh my god, they both haven't been playing that well, but man, see, the 49ers are like really dealing with a whole lot of injuries. Like they are guys are just
dropping
going out
right.
left and right. Like my god, you know what? I'm probably going to regret this, but I'm going to go with Seattle. I'm just go with the home team. I know Mike McDonald, he's a new head coach. You have a new OC, so that plays in the hand of Shanahan a little bit because of the experience. But just seeing, I have to look at the injury report. I might change my pick before the game starts, but for right now, before looking at the injury report, I'm going to go with Seattle. I think Seattle, although they are dealing with some injuries, although their
Tariq
offensive line
Woolen is questionable.
Oh, he's questionable. Ooh, that's not good. I think he'll play though.
I think he'll play.
I think he'll play.
Byron Murphy is currently questionable.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Seattle on this one. I don't like my pick, but they're at home. The offense, they still have JSN, they still have Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. the 49ers defense hasn't been playing all that good. And Geno Smith, I like Geno Smith as a quarterback. They still have a, two pretty solid running backs as well. So I'm gonna go with Seattle, and then Mike McDonald. He plays pretty well against Shanahan offenses. So I like my chances at this game for right now, and I could always change my pick before the game. But for right now, I got Seattle at home.
Yeah, that's fair. This honestly kind of feels like it could go either way. It really can.
It could. I have to
I
see
just
what
hope
the
we
injury
get
report looks
another
like.
good game.
All right. Well, that'll do it on another edition of the Courtside View Podcast. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on the next episode of Courtside View Podcast. And peace.
Salute.
All right.